Hi, I'm Sam,
I'm Rev.
and we are going around America's Great Loop. We're taking you today.
We are in quarantine, so we're not going anywhere right now.
Today's journey from Vero Beach all the way up to Titusville, a distance of about 74 miles, 8 bridges. Let's get started.
We woke up to fog. Look at that. And when I got the camera out, it had been a good, 10, 15 minutes. It even looked worse than this when we woke up. I do not remember seeing anything about fog in the forecast. So it was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, but it did lift early.
Right. I took a little stroll around the marina waiting for the fog. So we pulled out of there about 7:30.
Yeah, and one of the things that happened was we'd been moving the boat a number of days in a row.
Too many.
We're starting to get a little fatigued, and something happened out of the ordinary. We pumped out right before we left. So one of the things that we almost forgot, and I always have it in my mind when Rev says all clear, I have a mental note to say power and lines. And guess what? The power was still hooked up. And that is my fault because it's on my checklist, but getting out of sequence with the pump out.
Yeah, we took the
Almost
lines
forgot.
off and only were attached to the dock by the power cord, so that was kind of embarrassing.
So that was a, signal to us that the rest of the day, we need to be aware that we're starting to get a little fatigued.
Yeah.
There's some dolphins.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, as we came out of the Marina, the channel there, that is the Merrill Barber Bridge, I believe. We're not going to go under that, but we're going to be turning northbound. We had come under that bridge to get into the Vero Beach Marina.
Yeah, so you can still see a little haze in the background, that fog's still lifting, but it ended up being a beautiful day.
Yeah, it was a great day. I mean, we're going 74 miles or so today. And like I said, 8 bridges, but none of them had to open. But there was some narrow, the channel is narrow coming up through this area. Even though it appears there's a lot of water, you have to stay in the channel. And that was another thing that I constantly fought during the day, was going around boats and knowing whether I was tied to the autopilot heading hold or manually steering. So constant checking on that.
Yeah, the houses that we passed, though, in this area, oh my goodness, so beautiful, so big. And as we were going along, we started to see, different size homes, of course, but we saw something we'd never seen before. Look at the color of that roof.
Yeah.
And I thought,
I don't know what color green that is.
It must be Florida thing, until we got closer, and it looks like just a liner that goes on before they put the actual new roof. Yeah. And same with this. I thought, oh, that's pretty far away, and then you get up closer and they must just be needing new roofs in this area, I would be a wreck.
Sailing vessel that just passed out of the Sabo Bridge. This motor vessel appears to us. Well, here's the first of many 65-foot bridges that we're going to go under today.
There was a lot of traffic. It started out nice as usual. Early in the morning, nobody's out. But as the day went on, you can see we saw some jet skiers there. There were several sailboats. And look at those. I always like seeing birds on islands like that, just hanging out.
Yeah, and another reason to stay in the channel.
Oh, yeah.
You get a few feet out of the channel and you may be running aground. Yeah. And normally what I do is I'll run my depth sounder alarm around 10 feet, so it gives me an idea.
But look at that, a houseboat. We hadn't seen any houseboats since Canada. Houseboats were everywhere up there, but it's good to see them back again.
Yeah, I think in this section, because it's the Intracoastal Waterway and the Indian River, that area, Banana River, also maybe more houseboats.
But look at this sailboat. It's called Wild Oats, and it's under sail right now. And did you call them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Called them, and I believe I had an AIS signal on them, so I could pick up their boat name. Gave them a shout out and asked which side to pass on.
Yeah, it's hard to see the names on sailboats sometimes because they're on the side of the boat, and if there's a dinghy back there, you can't really read the name.
Yeah.
More traffic.
Another sailboat and a motor vessel arranged for a pass here, and then we followed in the way.
Yeah, we passed that sailboat and then we passed that motorboat.
I think we had a good conversation with that motorboat as well.
But look at that dragonfly. It's really beautiful when they're under sail.
Yeah, so continuing along northbound on the Intracoastal Waterway, we're going to be coming through a number of bridges. There'll be the Melbourne Bridge, the O'Galley Bridge, Pineda Causeway, Merritt Island, and the Bennett. And as we go through, we may or may not be saying the right one, but we'll give you a picture of all the bridges. Rev has got pictures of all the bridges.
Yeah.
Another sailboat coming this way.
Even when they're not under sail, they're still cool looking.
But a lot of work.
Yeah. Those two boats look like they're racing. That little one's winning.
Yeah, I think that little one was in a hurry to get somewhere to go fishing.
Yeah. But the bridges are spectacular. Some of them are one piece, but this one happens to be two separate bridges together. O'Galley was like that. I don't know if this is O'Galley. You can tell us.
Yeah, maybe the Melbourne Bridge and then O'Galley.
But how they're separate, That's I just like the way that they look.
There's just a lot of traffic that goes between the mainland and the strip of land out there that has Melbourne and also Cocoa Beach and Satellite Beach and all the beach towns along there. Yeah, so some familiar scenery for me, because this was an area that during my Air Force career I was stationed at Cocoa Beach, Florida, and it was my first non-flying assignment, and I was assigned to work in the same building that Major Nelson did when he was on I Dream of Jeannie. So lots of memories from this particular area. I had to drive, because I lived on the mainland, across one of these bridges each and every day to go to work at the Air Force Technical Application Center. And as I would go across these bridges every day and every evening, I would see sailboats out there. So I said to a buddy of mine, "Have you ever sailed?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I know how to do that." And I ended up buying a 22-foot Catalina sailboat with a swing keel, and so I purchased that, had it at a marina on the mainland side, and then I said, "Hey Chris," and Chris, if you're out there watching this, I think you'll remember, is I said, "Okay, got the sailboat, it's time to go, let's figure it out." And got out there and found out that Chris knew about as much as I did about sailing, but we eventually figured it out. He said, "Hey, it can't be much harder than flying an airplane." But it was. There was a lot of differences, and we got ourselves into a couple of jams here and there, but eventually figured it out.
Really? What kind of jams?
Oh, just, where do the sails go? How do you get this one up? How do you get that one up?
You should have gone to one of those little sailboat schools.
We should have, but, we were smarter than everybody else. We could figure it out.
This area reminded me of being on our lake in Texas, because we have those black birds that are on the water, and there are white pelicans that are hidden, and you see a couple of them in there with those black birds, and that's just like the lake here. And they travel in packs whenever something spooks them. I guess maybe we spook them, or if they just want to move around.
They know where the fish are. Hey, just one quick note about the website, which has an accompanying blog Want to tell them a little bit about
Yeah,
that?
well, get over to whatyachttodo.com. It's divided into categories like our journey on the Great Loop, the boat, living aboard, and frequently asked questions, as well as a page of resources. If you are in the planning stages or if you have questions, you can find a list of resources there.
And also, if you have questions about anything, crew at What Yacht to Do, send an email. I get to answer those.
Yep.
Absolutely coordinating with Fred, though, for the answers.
Yeah, right.
So we're coming up here to the northern part where it's Merritt Island and Cocoa and that particular area. Beautiful area. Used to ride bikes around this area as well. It was
You mean like Harleys?
no, like regular bicycles.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Merritt Island was a great place to go up and down with your bicycle. Nice trails on it.
Oh, that bridge
Yeah, the
says
town of
Cocoa.
Yeah, so we're getting to the northern part of the area that I lived in. And we're coming up on an area here where a lot of NASA activity with the Cape Canaveral, Cape Kennedy area. There's the vehicle assembly building and where the space shuttle was put together and
Cool.
different rockets and those types of things. So coming up here on the NASA Causeway Bridge.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
But we didn't have to have that bridge opened.
no,
I think we could
not
fit
at
under
all.
there.
We'll tell you a little bit about it here. All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. It is about noon and it is near high tide here. We are approaching the NASA Causeway Bridge, which is where the people that work at NASA go back and forth to work. And the vehicle assembly building is over there to the right. Rev is going to kind of show you around there. You'll be able to see it just above the bridge as she pans around here. And so this bridge will open if you need it. However, right now, as I've looked on my chart, and I do see right here the bridge info. And what I'm going to do is not elect to have the autopilot guidance go through, as I'm going to manually steer through the bridge so I'm in control. But I'm going to point out something to you here about the notes on the bridge, and if you could pan around, Rev, and take a look at that low steel, and you'll see it's about 20, those are 20, I believe that's 23. They normally go in 1 foot marks, so that 1 foot there's 23. It's probably about 25. But the notes also say that is low steel, and so there's an additional 4 feet in the middle. And I'll know that by looking at my notes, and I'm going to show you that here as we pass under the bridge. We're safely clear of the bridge. We're at a low speed going through so we don't cause any wakes, because sometimes there are workers out there on the bridge that you don't see, and also right there I do see a fisherman. So what I do is, and you can do this on Navionics or Active Captain, it says NASA Causeway Bridge. When I hit on that, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to hit review, and it'll say NASA Causeway Bridge. And it'll say it will open on signal except from 6:30 in the morning to 8 in the morning and 3:30 to 5, excluding federal holidays, because that's when the workers are there. And then it will also tell you it's a double bascule bridge. At closed, it's 27 feet. So the height boards show the height at low steel, which I just pointed out to you. That's about 23, 24, depending on that board, kind of needs repainting. And then it says the center is an additional 4 feet higher than low steel. So again, know the height of your boat, the most immovable object. If you have to take things down, but know the height of your boat. It's very important. And go through at a slow speed. And if you see a boat trying to come through a narrow bridge like that, just fend off and figure out which one is going to go first. Try to communicate with that vessel. Okay, that's going through a bridge. on the Great Loop.
After that, we continued to see traffic, but this particular boat, take a very close look at it. It is a gold looper boat. So if you know who that is, give us a shout out. Love to know. We did finally get to the Titusville Marina and got docked. The customer service dock hands, oh my goodness. I remember being so impressed with him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was a great customer service, great marina.
It's within walking distance of the town, and so I particularly did not like that sign.
And this is what we call the Beano. There'll Beano this, there'll Beano that, the Beano.
We did have a good walk and a good breakfast at that diner. Did get to stay a couple of nights at this marina.
Yeah, and I actually got some time. It was a nice calm day. The little pavilion there, got to do a little work painting one of the screen frames on the boat.
Projects.
So thanks for coming with us on this trip from
Vero Beach.
all the way up to Titusville City Marina, where we spent 2 days, and we'll be getting underway here soon.
Yep.
Who knows what the next destination is? We'll try to figure it out.
Gotta be moving on.
See you next time at What Yacht to Do.